Hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? Uh, Welcome to the Trojan Athletic Awards. I am Coral Thompson. They have not fired me yet, and I will be your MC once again. Before we get started, I just wanted to send out a special thank you to a lot of our sponsors. We've got McDonald's, Clark's Pharmacy, SetArc, Ridgestone Financial, Shaw TV Thompson, specifically Paul, the Thompson Citizen, 102.9 CHTM, and the Nickel Days Committee for all their donations and helping us out throughout the year. The phys ed department would also like to give a special thank you to the RDPC admin team for all their support over our athletic season. Yeah. And on that note, we will call up the head of our admin team, our principal, Rob Fisher, to give the welcome.
I can't think of a better way to spend the evening before final exams than to be in a room with a bunch of athletes and their supportive parents. And whether you ran, walked, or crutched your way in here tonight, thanks for being here. It's not an athletic award unless there's a pair of crutches in the audience. So I know I'm in the right place. Enjoy the evening, and let's get on with the show.
Next up, I'd like to call a few of our grade 12s to give a thank you to the coaches. So Blair Bodie, Callie Cummings, and Jack Kennedy, come on down.
Hi everyone, I'm Callie and I've been involved in a variety of sports throughout my past 4 years at RDPC. It is evident by looking at all of our banners up here tonight that RD Parker has had yet again another successful year of athletics. None of this success would have been possible without the amazing coaches who volunteer countless hours of their time to help every one of us reach our full potential. Not only do our coaches teach us the skills in order to become successful athletes, they also teach us many life lessons that help shape us as people. The importance of being on time, hard work, and responsibility are only a few examples of what our coaches preach to us. For anyone who has ever been on the track team, they know about dead fly. If you're late to the bus, you're getting on the ground in rain or shine and waving your arms and legs in the air like a maniac, mimicking a dead fly. After someone does dead fly a few times, they aren't likely to be late again. Thanks to the coaches, some of my fondest high school memories have been made on the basketball court, badminton court, on the track, and most importantly, in the company of all my teammates and coaches. Thank you all for all that you do.
So my name is Jack. I've been an athlete here all 4 of my years. 4 sports a year. I've learned a lot of things here. I've experienced a lot of things here. Probably the most important lesson is there's always time for a nap, no matter where you are. I can honestly say that high school athletics has been the most enjoyable aspect of my high school time. I know the coaches, especially Ms. Thompson, will always say that you are a student first and an athlete second. But sometimes getting that grade was just so that I could get on the next trip, whichever trip might be. As a personal shout out to some of my favorite coaches and memories, I want to thank Ms. Thompson for getting me through pre-cal 2 years in a row. Mr. Thorburn for volunteering to coach a sport that he knew nothing about, successfully getting us a 1-5 record across our 2 seasons, and doing it with a lot of style. Mr. Parody, Burton, Mills, Mr. McDonald, Mr. Krentz, Fortune, Dave, for making every single trip that I went on better than the one before it, all culminating in that last track and field trip that already seems like forever ago. I know that they will continue to do an amazing job changing lives the same way that they have changed mine, and I wish them luck in the endless hours of coaching that they will continue to give to this school. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Blair. I've been involved in Artie Parker athletics the last 4 years, playing soccer, basketball, badminton, and track. Throughout the years of playing sports, inside and outside of school, RDPC has given me some of the most memorable moments out of all the sports I've played. All of the memories would not have been achieved without the excellent coaches who volunteered to make athletics a success at our school. The coaches spend countless hours not only showing up to practice, but what some of you may not realize, they also have to spend tons of time preparing for practices. The coaches are not only there to coach us and help us to become better at a sport, they care for us like we are one of their own. When you're hurt, they'll take you to the hospital, always make an effort to make sure everything is going well. I know I could speak on behalf of all of the athletes here when I say that I could talk for hours about how our coaches have impacted and helped every single one of us. Thank you for everything you do and continue to do.
Okay, on that note, to aid the coaches, we couldn't do this without we've got a lot of community coaches, but the phys ed staff itself runs the show and they keep everybody going. And we've got 2 people leaving us this year. So in case you didn't know, Mr. Burton and Mr. Fortune are heading off back to their homes and leaving us. So shout out to them. Make sure you say goodbye. Perfect. Is that even clear? No. Great. It was a snap. Perfect timing. Okay. Well, last year we lost Sarah, and throughout the evening we continually said thank you to Sarah after everything. So I think throughout the night we'll just say bye to Burton and Fortune. So bye Burton, bye Fortune. Okay, let's get on to the awards. So first up we have boys soccer. So Nuno Pereira and Alex Burton, come up here. And we'll call all of the boys soccer players up to the stage as well.
Just keep going past it. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to thank Nuno Pereira for all he's done for Artie Parker Soccer. Most days he comes straight from work to the field. Okay, always with something in mind to take forward for the kids for practice, and I know that these guys appreciate everything that he's done for them as far as soccer goes. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for the Artie Parker Soccer program. So I'd just like to take a minute to give him a round of applause. He's a soccer player. I'm a public speaker, so I'll do the talking. Secondly, I just thank the guys that are here and the rest of the guys that couldn't make it tonight. I've coached a lot of sport, but this is one of my favorites. I find it a unique experience to meet guys from, I think we went around the warm-up circle and counted 14 different nations, different native tongues, different elementary schools. Some just came a year ago, some have been in Thompson their whole life, and the one thing they share in common is a love for soccer. And it's really fun to go out with them and see how much they enjoy it. So big thanks to you guys. You make it a great year and easy for us to coach, so thank you. As far as individual awards go for this year, we have 3 awards that we wanted to recognize certain athletes for their outstanding performance this year in different areas. The first one is for outstanding leadership, and that goes to Jashawn Sandhu, who I know couldn't make it tonight. He's on a plane to Winnipeg, and he was definitely upset that he couldn't make it. He's always at things like this, always at events, always at to awards banquets, so it was definitely upsetting that he couldn't make it, but we still like to give him a round of applause for his outstanding leadership. The second award we wanted to give is for defensive backbone. Nuno and I both talked about how great it was this year compared to other years that we had a bunch of different guys from different sports come out and decide to make soccer one of their sports as well. And with that, they brought their athleticism and their competitive spirit, and it really changed the dynamic of our team. And one of those players was Matthew Kaspic that we wanted to give the Defensive Backbone Award to. And finally, along the same line, someone else that joined us this year and brought above all else, a competitive spirit and a will to win, and that went a long way. Although he wasn't a grade 9, he was a rookie to the soccer team, so we'd like to award the Rookie of the Year to Kyle Tomchuk. Yeah, and just finally, guys, really, I'm not around anymore, but it was a pleasure to get to know you and to coach you, and I know Nuno feels the same way, and he'll always be around the soccer field, so you'll see plenty of him, and please continue to play soccer, and I wish you the best next year. So thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys, and goodbye, Mr. Burton. Next up, we have girls soccer. So I'd like to get all the lovely ladies up here, as well as the coaches, Catherine Mills and Jeff Parody. Catherine Mills is also leaving us this year, so goodbye, Mills.
Okay, hi everybody. I'd like to first start out by saying shout out to our girls for showing up in force this year. Most years we're left with 4 or 5 on stage, so this looks like pretty much the whole team. Just like Mr. Burton said, as fun as our job is, it wouldn't be the same without the girls up on stage here. They make going to practices fun, they make our road trips enjoyable, and even when we lose, it's still fun because they take it in pretty good stride. So I'd like to give a round of applause to the girls for all their efforts and their spirits. I'm looking forward to the year that we can come up here and say we finally won the zone banner. It's always next year. We came within a goal or a penalty shot in the last 3 minutes. Shout out to Brittany. Is she here? Just kidding. Hi, Britt. It's always Flin Flon that does us in, but I think they're losing a lot of really good athletes next year, so next year's our year. Just kidding. No, soccer's unfortunate in Thompson because we don't get on the fields until pretty much until the season's over. And summer, so many of us go out of town and leave, so really we get like 3 weeks of practice. And to expect a lot within that time, it's unrealistic, whereas I know Flin Flon has some really good leagues and the girls play all year round. So for us to be competitive, to take them to the finals and to only lose 1-0, I think was a really good achievement in itself. We have 3 individual awards that we'd like to give out. Our first award is our MVP. We can't have a competitive soccer team without someone who's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And this girl did that a lot this year. Maybe not when it counted the most, but not holding that against her. Just kidding. We'd like to give Brittany Johnson the MVP award. We're going to score 80 goals this year. Next year, she says. Next year. Let's just take these out. Okay, our second award, it's called the Coaches Award. I know it's a pretty cliche award, but it's hard to name it anything else. This person does everything for the team. When she's on the field, she gives us everything she's got. She shows up to practice and does everything we ask of her. And when we're not on the field, her attitude and spirit in the hotel, on the bus, around the school is phenomenal. So for the Coaches Award, we'd like to award that to Brianne Bruno. Actually, even when she was laying on the field in a neck brace, she still asked me to take a photo of her. That's how good her spirits were, so everything was fine, though. Our final award, this is a dedication award. This goes out to a girl who's been on the team all 4 years and is leaving us this year. She really has been the heart and soul of our soccer team. She's always pushing the girls to come out early to practice, stay late, play on the weekends when we can. And our program really wouldn't have been the same without her. So we'd like to give Jamie Verai the dedication award. Yeah. So to our graduating grade 12s, thank you very much for all your efforts. To the 9, 10s, and 11s, we look forward to next year. And to Miss Mills, she's been a part of the team for awkward. How many years? 4 years since she's been up in Thompson. She started with her sister, who has since left her. I had to replace her. I know I wasn't as good, and now she's leaving us. So we'd like to thank her for all her commitment and dedication to the program as well. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so that wraps up soccer. Let's move on to volleyball. Junior girls. We've got Monica Monroe, Christine Sim, and Leanne, who I do not know how to say her last name. Bergier, yeah, great. She's a friend of mine. I just don't know her last name. And all the ladies.
Okay, I'm going to start and just take a couple minutes just to send out a couple thank yous. I'd like to start off by thanking Leanne. She can't make it tonight. Leanne is a UCN student for nursing, and she committed a lot of time during practice with you ladies, and she sends her wishes to you. So I would like to send a thank you out to Leanne. Secondly, I'd like to say a big, huge thank you to Miss Sim. She committed so much time with these young ladies. I could have not been more grateful for your work. I wish you were standing on this side. Thank you. Then I can look at the girls. The time, effort that you put in with these ladies was so much appreciated. She did 2 seasons in a row. She did our season with the volleyball, and then she went right into basketball, so that was great commitment. You taught them so much, and you taught me a few things too. I learned how to dab. I learned how to dab this season. I learned how to do a few new dance moves, and I learned a good lesson that if you have to share an air mattress with another coach, you want to make sure that you don't get a fine leak in it because you wake up in the morning on the floor. But we all survived, and I wouldn't have been able to survive this season without you. So thank you. I'll turn it over to you.
All right, I would also like to thank Mrs. Monroe for making my first volleyball season and my last volleyball season a memorable one. I do appreciate all the laughs, and yes, we'll keep some of them to ourselves. So, our season this year was a solid season. How many tournaments? About 4 tournaments. We won our first one in the PA. Then after that, we came close. We got our butts kicked in Portage. It wasn't even a 24-hour tournament. We weren't there for 24 hours, but it was fun. We were in vans with stinky feet girls, but we managed. Anderson. But we did. We went to zones. We lost in the finals. It was one of the hardest fought battles I've seen these girls put in. They were very close. They lost by, I think, we went into extra points for each set that they went into. So they should be holding their heads very high for the performance they had in zones. To move on to our individual awards, I think they're all here. Our first one is the Spunk and Spirit Award. This award goes to an athlete who is a vocal leader both on and off the floor, oftentimes keeping her teammates' spirits up, and also the reason we had to make a pit stop in Swan River on our way to Roblin. Her attitude was infectious and appreciated when we were down. She has some serious reffing skills, some deadly dance moves on Main Street in Roblin, and named herself Big Booty Judy. Spunk and Spirit Award, Ashley Duke. Our second award is the Leadership Award. This award is for a special athlete who always puts her best effort forward. She may not be the best on the floor, but most definitely has the best attitude and leadership. She's very straight to the point, as Monroe would know. I think the term was pipe down while the sets were being played still. Definitely an athlete respected by her teammates. Congratulations, Leadership Award, Brandy Teapot Jenkins. Okay. This one is Rookie of the Year Award. This athlete was our most consistent throughout the season. I've been privileged to coach her in multiple sports. She was one of our best hitters, a solid back row player, and a deadly server. It was hard to not have her on the floor for an important game. She led the team through her play and was seen as one of the strongest players out there. She improved more and more each tournament. Congratulations, Rookie of the Year, Haley Sylvester. All right, and our final award is our Most Improved Award. We gave this award to an athlete who we weren't sure where we wanted to play her. She ended up being a backup setter and also offside. She was able to adapt to almost anything and was the first to catch on to our rotation. She oftentimes was our problem solver and developed into a skilled volleyball player. She's come a long way from the beginning of the season till the end, and she was an athlete we were able to lean on heavily during zones, and she did great things. So congratulations, Most Improved, Avery Ritchie. Thank you. Thanks, ladies. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, junior boys volleyball, come on up. And coaches Brian Borton, who already left, and Blair Fortune, who is also leaving. Come on up so I can say bye to you later.
Move down, guys. Come on, Ruben, closer.
I'd like to start tonight just by thanking Mr. Borton. When you're watching this on Shaw later, we couldn't have had the season we did without you. I know I'd never be able to coach or handle these guys without him. He really made a big difference to our team. We did 3 years of junior varsity volleyball together, and I couldn't have done it without him, so I'd just like to shout out to him. As for this bunch of characters we have up on stage, this year in our JV boys, we started the year with tryouts right off the start. We had a solid year of returning grade 10s. They showed a lot of leadership this year. We really leaned on them very heavily, and they responded like the great young adults that they are. We also had our incoming grade 9s. This was the first year I don't think I've ever had such a goofy bunch of grade 9s, but they livened up our practices and every game. Just for Bort and I to be laughing was enough for us. First year since I've started here in Artie Parker that a volleyball team has made it to provincials. These guys did fantastic job on zones. They kept, I know Mr. Borton and myself, leaning right on the edge of our chairs right down to the last point. Didn't want to win it by more than 2. I get it, guys. You like it. You like to make it close, like to give us a heart attack. But we couldn't have been more proud of you guys for making it to provincials, and as we made it down there, you guys showed that teams from the north could keep up and can play with those teams down south. And it was good to see that we kept up, and you guys, just the type of people you are, were the center of attention, of course, at provincials. So for our individual awards for this team, I'm going to start with the most improved. We picked one of these players here. We had really no idea who he was. Came in. We liked his attitude, thought he would be a great addition. He'd keep the team on its feet. And we also thought we might need a left side out on the court. So our most improved for this year is Ruben Halkett. Now, I said that we had quite a character of grade 9s who joined our team this year. We had a group that at numerous tournaments, we had random parents from other teams come and talk to Mr. Borton about how much they loved to watch our team play. Because no matter what was going on, we were having fun. We had players dancing on the court and always being up for anything. So this year, I'd like to give the Oscar for Entertainer of the Year to Thomas King. Got to show some muscles off, the Gallo Flex. Our last individual award goes to a player who barely left the court for us this year in every big game. He was on for the entire time. We leaned heavy on him, and he did a really good job of grooming players underneath him to bring them up into the level that they're expected to play. He was a leader of our team. He was a captain of our team. And MVP this year for the best cookies is Murphy Krentz. And the last thing I'd like to do, I didn't get a chance to give it to these guys after provincials, but as those of you who've made it know, you get a certificate of participation. So I have one for each of the players here, and as I call your name, you guys can come grab one, and yeah, I think I have one for everybody. Yeah, I got one for everybody. Ruben Halkett, Jashar Cooler. Get over here, Jashar. That's you. Thomas King. Good job, bud. Ryan Monius. You got a proud brother. Darren Erickson, ping pong champion of Artie Parker. Darian Erickson, And yes, I can tell them apart. Gavin Alcock, Sheldon Howard, Kyle Tomchuk, and Murphy Krentz. Sorry, and Matthew Duke.
Good job, and goodbye, Mr. Fortune. Okay, senior girls volleyball, Marnie Krentz and Tara Warren. Yes, come on down.
Okay, before we give our awards, I'd just like to say goodbye to Mills, Fortune, and Burton. And, pardon me? Oh yes, and Mrs. Ellis, bye. We had a great season. It's always fulfilling as coaches to see your team develop and go beyond their potential. And we can't wait to get started for next year. We do have some girls returning, we have some leaving. I see one has already left, so she's not here tonight. But we would like to recognize this athlete for always having her head in the game, probably sometimes more so than myself, knowing what's going on, signaling from the, we gotta do this, come on, let's do this. So I'd like to recognize Jaylene Oniski for always having her head in the game.
Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. Before I give out the awards, I just want to acknowledge some of the ladies in the community. As coaches in the North, we kind of all know it's a little bit difficult to get that competitive edge when you're not able to play teams and you don't have anyone close. So there's a lot of people that come out and play us Tuesday, Thursday nights, a regular thing, and I just want to say thank you to those ladies. I know a bunch of them aren't here, but some are, and a lot of them are past players, so it's really nice to see that they're still playing volleyball and they still love volleyball, so thanks, ladies. So this award I have to give out is for someone, if you're a team that plays against us and you see a set go up to this girl, you know one thing for sure, it's going to be hit really, 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 really hard. And so the Hard Hitter Award goes to Ashley Williams. And the next award is for a player that if you see her play on the court, you wouldn't be able to tell if we're winning, losing, if she's angry, sad, happy, you wouldn't have a clue. She's very calm, cool, collected, and she's just an overall solid volleyball player. So the Calm, Cool Award goes to Alyssa Campbell. Thank you. Okay, thanks, everybody. Sorry, we each put it on each other's to-do list. No, you do it, no, you do it. Is to thank our Peanut. Every year Peanut comes out and she helps us practice. Peanut is Megan Thorne, for those of you who don't know. And she was just invaluable to us because as we've aged a little bit, our shoulders have been getting really tired, and she's been our young pup that's done a lot for us. So we just really thank you, Peanut.
Aw, Peanut. Okay, senior boys volleyball, Brad Williams and Dave Babila, come on down, and all of our senior boys.
evening, everyone. And we got everybody. Wow. Well, almost. I think there's one missing. Guys, this year we had a really good year. And I want to start first by thanking Coach Babaluk. Dave keeps us all on our toes, and I know he keeps all of you on your toes. And he comes ready for practice every night. And Dave, thank you very much. We had a really good year. We went to several tournaments. We started the year off with back-to-back wins, and we finally beat Flin Flon. It took forever, but we got them. And now that we got them, they left. Because what I hear, they're gone to AA. They're not even AAA anymore. So next year, we're on. As far as awards, we have 3. The first award is for our best defensive player, and this guy was very versatile, front row, back row. He kind of did everything for us. But at the net, there wasn't too much getting by him. And our best defensive player this year goes to Dale Cook. Second award, our most improved player. Yes, we can't forget that. This guy started with us 2 years ago in grade 10, and he's come a long way. He's one of our Juniper kids, one of my Juniper boys, and he's done a lot for us the last 2 years, including blocking a serve last year. Tyler Monias, most improved player. And finally, this guy has done lots for us. And he plays the front row, he plays the back row, he passes the ball very well. He's always one of the first guys at practice. And we're happy to have him back. And this award is for most valuable player. It goes to Matt Kaspic. And finally, before I go, our graduating players, can I get you to step forward? There's David Saunders, Dale Cook, Tyler Braun. We got, can't see him way down there yet. Jack Kennedy, yeah. And we got Mr. Sinclair way down at the end. And we were missing one guy, like I said, but these guys, they helped out a lot this year and over the last 2 years. They are going to be sorely missed, but I see there's some young guys coming. So thank you guys for your 2 years. Really appreciate it. And let's give them a hand.
Okay, volleyball's over, so this seems like a great time to say goodbye to Mr. Burton and to Mr. Fortune. Moving on to basketball, we are on the second page of the program, everybody. We are trucking right along. This is great. Junior girls basketball, we have Christine Sim, Jen Ellis, who is also leaving us this year. Bye, Jen. And Allison Correa. Ladies, come on down.
All right, I'd just like to start off first by thanking my dynamic duo here, my trusty sidekicks that helped me this year. With girls basketball, I had Allison Korea, who stepped in for the first time this year and will be helping me again next year. And then Mrs. Ellis, who's going to be leaving. I'm not okay with it. But she's going to be leaving and moving to Ashern, and I just wanted to thank them both for an unbelievable year. Jen's leaving while she's 17-0, so she's not going to break that record. So I'd just like to thank both of them for everything that they did this year.
Thanks for having us.
I am not selfish. Okay, I'd just like to kind of recap our year. Basically, we went to 5 tournaments and we won every tournament. We never lost this year. We were 17-0, like I had already mentioned. Unbelievable group of girls. So much fun, so easy to work with. Listen to everything I had to say. They were just like a sponge. They just took everything in. And at the beginning of the year, I looked at them all. I had their tryout, and I sat them down in the very first practice, and I said, "You can be provincial champions." And they took it, and they just ran with it, and that's exactly what they did. They never lost. They won every tournament. They dug out of 80 centimeters of snow to get to the provincials, but they did it, and they are number 1 in the province, and I think they deserve a round of applause. Thank you. Okay, so we picked 4 awards. Honestly, I struggled with picking these awards because all of them deserve it because it was such a successful season. What I decided was 2 grade 10s, 2 grade 9s. So my first one is my most improved. This is a grade 10 athlete who's come a long way in the last 2 years of playing ball for me. She started off hardly ever playing the game at all, but then it was hard to ignore the 6-footness and the athleticism. She was one of those people who you either took a chance on that she would get better or just let it be. I decided to take a chance on her. She quickly excelled from her baby moose on ice days to becoming a starter who was a force to be reckoned with, in particular at provincials this year. This individual became my point guard. Just kidding. She became my 3-point shooter. Kidding again. But in reality, she was definitely someone who helped dominate this season. She was my big man in the paint and excelled into a great basketball player, and will only continue to do so as her career in athletics continues. Congratulations, most improved. Danita, get out of my house, Cameron. Shake our hand. Still got her beat. Still got her beat. My next award is the most dedicated award. This award goes to an individual who took dedication to a new level. Every day she was wanting to improve and get better. She knew exactly what she wanted to work on and knew exactly the type of player she wanted to become. She spent countless hours outside of basketball practice trying to improve her skills and quickly became one of our most dominant players. The true definition that hard work does pay off. She had blood rolling down her legs at provs, the wind knocked out of her toys, but there was no way she was coming off that floor. I've never seen somebody so in the zone during a provincial final. Every call that went our way, there was a fist pump in the air and a scream of, yes, every time. This athlete received a provincial all-star for her play during provincials. I'm very proud to present this award to Emma Downtown Dibert. Our third award is our Most Valuable Player Award. This award is no surprise whatsoever. This individual has always been the best basketball player, but she and I had a conversation at the beginning of the year how to become the complete player, more than just athleticism. It also includes attitude, school, and even leadership. She took it to a new level of working on herself this year. She was our fearless leader and really took being captain serious. She came back to me this year for basketball knowing that she had a vengeance for last year. I told her at the beginning of the season that this was her year to go out and win provincials and get her revenge, that the team that she had around her was the team that was going to help her become the player that she did. Every tournament she had refs speaking with her about how good she is and how much the respect they've had for her and her team. I can honestly say I wasn't sure which way this was going to go based on attitude last year, but she's someone who has flipped 360 degrees and became an absolute gem to work with. I have a ton of respect for her, and I know she will only continue in this path of the complete player. I gotta mention one, one game, she scored 55 points. Congratulations for the second year in a row, my most valuable player, Ashley Diesel Train Williams. All right, my last award is my Rookie of the Year. This individual is someone who's gifted naturally at athletics, but in particular basketball. As a grade 9 athlete, she has stunned many people how good she actually is. She is definitely a complete player of basketball. For basketball, offensively, she was typically always one of the top 2 scorers, and defensively, always sound and solid. I could have named this award multiple things, but Rookie of the Year just seemed to fit. Once and only once I was forced to low-key bench this individual because she was just not in her game. When she found out she was low-key benched, she couldn't stand it. She elevated her play so much after that she went on to win All-Star at multiple tournaments and honestly deserved the All-Star every tournament that she had, and I thought she should have got one at provincials, but she didn't, and she did deserve it. After the low-key bench, every pregame talk typically ended with, "Anderson, I need you to show up." She shook her head yes and showed up to every game. I have never met anyone quite like her before, and no, Erica, I do not hate you. What I'd like you to know is how proud of you I was of you this season. You deserve all the credit and recognition you got this year. Rookie of the Year, Erica, cross you up, Anderson. Oh, you guys are sweaty. What? Okay. I'd just like to say goodbye to my brothers in the phys ed department as well. Okay? Thank you.
You guys will see each other a little bit later in the program. You can hug then as well. We're calling up the junior boys. You guys will be back. Thanks, ladies. Okay, junior, oh, this is so short. Junior boys, I'd like to call up Joe Alcock. Oh, there he is.
Before I begin, I didn't write any speeches about each player's profile, so I'd just like to thank right now a gentleman that helped our season become what it was, Mr. Mike Tomchuk, for all of the travel that he did with us. He was our go-to guy. Well, you can see my imaginary helper. It was just me this year, and he stepped in, did a wonderful job. Loudest guy on any bench, loudest guy in any gym, 100% all for the team. It was awesome, and I really appreciate it. I'd like to, I don't know, Mike, are you here? He's at work. Oh, that's a buzzkill. Nonetheless, a little round of applause and appreciation for Mr. Tomchuk. We had an up and down season. We started off with a really good tournament in Brandon. It was a lot of fun. We started off the tournament with somebody having a Cialis problem. Hey, Junior? He meant his sciatic, but it was a Cialis, and I just wonder, do you even know? Wiping my tears away, I'm trying to do the lineup. Yeah. But he played a heck of a tournament, that's for sure. We didn't quite win the zones, but every time we hit the floor, we gave it all. They recruited me dusted me off. It's been about 5 years since I coached, so nonetheless, it was a great season. Saw a lot of improvement. We had a lot of fun. We had great chemistry, got along. Every practice was smooth. Shan, always trying to pick up the chicks. Everywhere we went, there's a picture in this slideshow of him looking back. There was girls. I'd like to thank also Clark's Pharmacy and their support throughout the season. They're always there stopping in, checking out, bought us our nice warm-up jerseys. I appreciated that. I'd like to thank all of you boys for rekindling my love for basketball. I truly missed coaching. I used to coach hockey. Used to coach a lot of things, but nonetheless, getting back behind the bench, yeah, I'm a quiet guy, but I mean what I say in practice. Well, you're learning, nonetheless. Unfortunately, there's only 3 awards that I have for tonight. I would give everybody an individualized award because there was so much they contributed to the chemistry of our team. It was a great, great year. I'm looking forward to coaching again next year. And I found a helper. He won't be imaginary next year. So, all right. So when we look at my awards, this young man single-handedly put us on his back in the game against Norway House to put us into the finals at zones. And it was an unbelievable performance. He gave us some key points. And from where he went at the beginning of the season to where he finished was a completely unexpected and different plateau. And for my most improved player on the team, I'd like to recognize Marcus McCurdy. Now, when it comes to for dedication, injured or not, he'd be on our bench at practice, wouldn't be trying to skip out on things. He'd be leading the guys, and yeah, even helping Junior with his Cialis problem. And he was a real inspiration to watch play and coach this year. For most dedicated, I'd like to recognize Kyle Tomchuk. Now, between Kyle and this other gentleman, I had to lean on them a lot. I think 40 minutes a game was their usual playing time. And I'm not, if you don't know me, I'm not the type of guy to do this in usual life. I just let things go. But it feels awkward. I wish I had a helper right now because my best defensive player I chose was Gavin Alcock. He happens to be my son. I just thought I'd throw it out there. Not till he graduates. Sorry, no hugs. All right, gentlemen. It's been a great season. I want you to continue to play ball, be it at the cages, the Norplex pool. Let's get ready for next season. All right, we've got a lot of work to do, and the adventure continues. Thank you, everybody, for your support. It's been a blast.
I got plenty to spare. Okay, senior girls basketball, come on down. We've got Coach Courtney McKay, Megan Peanut Thorne, and Nicole Robson.
Okay, so I'm Courtney. This is Megan. Unfortunately, Nicole couldn't be here today, but she says hi, everyone. This was a very interesting season for us. Very big transition year. We lost some big players last season, and we really had to change up our whole game, which we did. And new coaching staff, of course, too. We lost Sarah Gillis last year, which was a big loss to the program. But these girls were kind of unexpected, I would say. Our first tournament when we played against Flin Flon, we sadly lost to them, which was, I think, the first time we've lost to them since I was in high school, which was 10 years ago. So it was a bit of a rough start. But these girls, I think, that a little bit of a fire under their butts, and they decided that losing wasn't for them, and they did a really good job of coming back from that loss and coming together as a team, and we were very proud of that. We played the provincial winning team, U of W, and only lost to them by 10 points, which I thought was pretty awesome of us to be able to do that. And we won zones, which I don't think very many people thought we were going to do. So just big hand to you guys, because you guys did a really good job this season. To our grade 12s, we're going to miss all of you guys. You were a huge part of this team, and just thank you for everything you've done for us. This is unfortunately mine, Megan's, and Nicole's last season coaching with Artie Parker. And I just want to personally give a big shout out to Casey Singh and Hannah Murdy. I've been coaching them since they were in grade 6, and I wish I could be there for your last season. I wish you guys nothing but the best to your grade 12 year. So now, individual awards. Okay, our first award is going to an individual who I've had the privilege of coaching since she was in grade 6 as well. This young lady is one of the hardest workers I know and one of the most coachable individuals. No matter what criticism or advice we gave her, she would always take it and adjust accordingly. She was always pushing to make herself better and asking questions to fix things about her game. Even though she was not the most vocal person on our team, she still had a huge impact and was apparent when she was not on the floor. We are going to miss coaching this young lady and wish her all the best in her future, as we know she's going to do big things. The Silent Leader Award goes to Zoe O'Callahan. I'm gonna hug you. You're welcome. Okay, our second award is going to a very special individual. I think anyone who has had the privilege of coaching this person would agree that she's one of a kind. She's by far one of the hardest working athletes I've ever coached and would push her physical limits every practice and every game. She was one of our main point scorers and one of our most aggressive defensive players. If we were down by 50 points or up by 50 points, this person would still give 110% and would never quit. And not to mention, she made it rain threes in our zone final. I swear other coaches and spectators thought I was heartless because every game she'd be hurt on the floor, and by the end of the season I wouldn't even flinch because it'd become a regular thing, and we knew that in 30 seconds she would be fine and back in the game, even with a broken face. This young lady was an absolute privilege to coach, and we wish her nothing but the best in the future. The Most Dedicated Player Award goes to Jamie Verai. I couldn't not. Okay, and our last award is going to another very special young lady. If I stood up here right now and said that this individual was the hardest worker in practices, I would be lying, and I think she would agree as well. She was beyond lazy when it came to practices and liked to push her coach's limits. But let's just say her and her team mates ran a lot because of her tardiness, her eye rolling, and her amazing protesting abilities. However, when it was game time, this young lady would turn it on and was a phenomenal basketball player. Even though it seemed like she never listened or tried, once it was in a game, she put all the skills she taught to use. This young lady was also a very good leader and had an ability to build up her teammates during games and never gave up. She is also one of the laziest yet amazing defenders I've ever coached. She has an ability to literally not play defense, but still not let anyone score on her because of her amazing stuffing skills, even if it cost her a few fouls in key moments. We have loved being able to coach this individual, and we wish her nothing but the best. The Most Valuable Player Award goes to Alyssa Campbell. I'll hug you too. To our grade 12s again, good luck with whatever you're doing in your future, and returning players, I wish you guys nothing but the best next year.
Okay, senior boys basketball. We have Wes Braun and Jeff Parody.
What a great group of young men. So much fun. If there's one word I would have to come up with that would describe them all, is competitive. You wouldn't see some of the stuff happen in practice. I thought it would come to blows at times, but they always got back up and were good to each other and just competed hard. This was a team where everyone understood and accepted their roles. There was no jealousy, no complaining. All the bench players understood that some games they'd play and some games they wouldn't. And it would all depend on what was needed at that time. But this never stopped them from giving as much energy as they could when they were on the bench. This is one of the best bench teams I've had. They're all winners and would do whatever it took to win. The truth is, winning isn't normal. But there's nothing wrong with winning. It's just unusual. Only one team wins. And in order to win, you must be committed to doing unusual things. You can't be one of the crowd. The crowd doesn't win. You have to be willing to stand out and act differently. You can't train like everyone else. You have to train more and with a higher level of effort and focus. The boring stuff like two-ball dribbling, form shooting, footwork drills, as well as the hard stuff like Syracuse running, are not punishments. They are the price you pay to win. This group understood this, and because of it, we only lost 6 games all year. And at one point, I don't know for sure, but I think we had a 19-game winning streak going. Even though we didn't get to play in the final game that we wanted at Provincials, we still won our final game at Provincials. Not many teams can say that. I really enjoyed coaching this team. They made me a better coach. And I'd like to thank Mr. Parody for the great job that he did every year, taking all the non-basketball stuff and learning a fair bit about basketball along the way. I really appreciate everything he did. Thank you.
Before we get to our team awards, or individual awards, I'd like to take a moment and thank Wes. This is Wes's final year of coaching. But he's not moving out of town or anything. What Wes is going to do, and I know he's going to do, and he's going to do it really well, he's going to build our community basketball program up. I mentioned in soccer, teams like Flin Flon, they do well because they have community-based program. Our junior girls who just won provincials have an excellent program that the girls are in every year. And we're really looking forward to the caliber of athletes that are going to come to Artie Parker's program, having been trained personally from Wes himself. So for all his time into our program, I'd like to thank Wes. Okay, for individual awards, our first one is a lighthearted one. We have the gift of having a 6'7" player on the team, which not a lot of teams. I'm sorry, did I just short you? What? No, I haven't even started yet. It's moments like this that won him the award. We were in our first game down in Brandon, and Tyler popped out to the three-point line and in rotation and got the ball with about 8 to 10 seconds left on the shot clock and should have passed it and went inside, but he saw an opening and took it and popped a three, and it rolled around on the rim, bounced a couple times, and went in. And so for the rest of the season, whenever he was out there, he got the green light. So the green light award goes to Tyler Monius. Thank you, too. All right, man. Okay, this next award is for one of our grade 12 athletes. This guy never had it easy his entire basketball program. He had to go through a lot to get where he was, but he never let anything get in his way, and he ended up becoming one of our best players, if not our best. School was a constant battle, but he fought through it every time, even if it meant not coming to a tournament at the beginning of the year. It taught him a valuable lesson, and I know that he learned from it. The effort that he gave us in practice is unmatchable, whether it be practice or a game. His head's down when he's in the paint, and he's just fondling the rim all the time. He'll get 4 rebounds in a row, as many as it takes until he gets the ball and puts it in the basket. So the Perseverance Award goes to Tyler Braun. Proud of you, buddy. Our last award is going to go to 2 individuals, another 2 of our grade 12s. Basketball is a game of leadership. You can have all the young talent you want in the world, but if you have no one there to help guide them, they just end up playing their own game. These 2 individuals happen to be 2 of our high caliber players, but the time that they took to work with our younger players, to lead them at practice, when we were trying to work with another group, they would take a group by themselves. Their entire work ethic inspired a lot of young basketball players still to come through our program. So we'd like to recognize Dale Cook and Eric Sinclair for their leadership.
Well, since this is the last time I'm going to be up here talking to you guys, I just want to close with my thoughts. I really enjoyed my 11 years coaching here. It was a fantastic experience. I had the honor of coaching JV, both boys and girls, senior varsity, both boys and girls, and it was just a great experience. Every level I coached at, I managed to find great kids that wanted to work hard and be successful. And whenever I would go out in the community and tell people I coached at the high school, they'd always give me that kids these days kind of story. And you know what? Kids these days are no different than when I was a kid and when anyone else parent out there was a kid. They will do as much as expected of them or as little as is required. And I think when we get out there and we coach these kids, we just need to expect more for them. Somehow we've come to believe that greatness is just for a chosen few, for superstars. But the truth is, greatness is for all of us. It's not about lowering expectations for everyone. It's about raising them. Greatness isn't a special place or a special person. Greatness is wherever someone is trying to find out how great they can be. So as I move forward in my coaching career, I would just like to tell everyone, chase your dreams and don't let people talk you out of doing so. Because it's not the critic who counts. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, who knows great enthusiasms, who spends oneself in a worthy cause, who at the best, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Don't be afraid to be great. Proceed with maximum effort. Thank you, guys.
Okay, moving on to our favorite event of the year, curling. Are there any there's 2? Nathan? Shh. Yeah. 2/5, actually. 2/5.
Yeah. The irony of following Wes's impassioned speech about greatness with us. Ooh. Okay. For those of you who weren't here last year, Jack and Jashawn, who is absent, came into my room right after volleyball zones didn't end well, and they were worried they were going to end up their careers with provincial championships, no zone championships. So we tried to win a curling zone title. 0 wins first year. We were one of 2 teams from Parker the first year. We enjoyed ourselves, had a great time. This year we get towards zones. The other Parker team, which was actually a curling team, folded, and we got a curler. So we had some confidence with Matthew Stewart going in. We ran into a tough team from the PAW, who we led halfway through the game, the eventual zone champion, so we were quite happy with how that went down. Then a weird thing happened. The PAW, I don't know, had a team kind of like us. One guy that kind of knew how to curl and 3 young guys just trying it. We were watching them play the other PAW team and we're like, wait a minute, we can beat these guys. It was hilarious to watch as our guys for the first time in 2 years took the game seriously and then fumbled all over themselves to a 4-0 hole after one end because we were actually better than the other team. It was a weird concept for us to take. We ended up coming back, winning that game, earning a spot in the zone final, and shaking hands with the winner again this year. So we had a blast. Thankfully, the boys have got some zone titles under their belt, no thanks to curling, but we'll take the positive result. I didn't come up with any individual awards. We aren't really a team that there was never an individual going. I'm hoping that Stuart learned a little bit as he continues with curling. I'm pretty sure he'll be the only one. If we could teach him anything, we had a good time the whole way through, and when you relax, you tend to do a little bit better. So not here tonight was our illegal athlete at Zones, Nathan Dyke. He finished school about a week and a half before Zones. Thankfully, he didn't have to sub in, but Nathan was on our team. Matthew Stewart, our curler. Jashawn Sandu, as we heard, is on his way to Winnipeg. Jules Cruda. And the mastermind behind this whole fiasco, Jack Kennedy.
Thanks.
Good job, guys.
Okay, moving on. Badminton, we are close. We are getting there. Okay, junior, all the JV badminton players, come on down. Our coaches, Don McDonald and Eric Gallo. Is Don here? Are you all alone?
All right, so just to start, this season would not have been possible without Don McDonald, who has been in charge of the junior badminton for as long as I've been told. So he's always in charge of the skill development, choosing of the team. He really took me under his wing this year. So I'd like to just give him a big thank you, round of applause for everything he did with these kids. I know for most of these students who are up here, it was their first year playing badminton, and we saw them go from struggling in tryouts to excelling at most of the tournaments, even though the results may not have showed it. So anyways, just to get into the individual awards, we have 3 awards. The first one, recognizing one of our players for dedication. She was always at practice. She's always looking to improve, asking questions about both the team and her own gameplay. This award goes to Samantha Planiuk. This next award, we are recognizing Spunk and Spirit. This girl, it didn't matter if she was winning or losing, she was always having a great time. She would roll around on the floor more often than stand on her feet. Didn't matter if I beat her 21-1 or if Erica beat her. She would always have a great attitude and keep coming back for more. I would like to recognize Charity Biggity for Spunk and Spirit. And our last award, this is our Dark Horse Award. This goes to one of the boys who came out to tryouts, and we didn't really know if we were going to take him to begin with. He was one of the average players to start with. By the very end, he came to be a force to be reckoned with, and I'm looking forward to being able to coach him next year as a senior athlete. This award goes to Jarrett Conley. So I'd just like to say thank you to all of these athletes, the grade 10s who will be coming up to senior next year. I'm looking forward to coaching you. The grade 9s, I hope you can improve even more with Dawn and the new coach who will be coming, and look forward to winning some medals and tournaments next year. So thank you all.
As Mr. Gallo talks about coaching senior badminton, I would also like to remind him about how much fun it is to coach track and field, and that I am losing a few of my coaches. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, you know you want to join our team. We're super fun. Okay, senior badminton players, come on down. Our coaches. Woo. Bruce Krentz, anxious. Bruce Krentz and Mr. Fortune. Bye, Mr. Fortune.
There we go. In my defense, Marnie said, get up there. We got to keep this thing moving along. First of all, I want to thank Fortune for inviting me to help coach and then leaving. Nice one. So I'll probably coach next year with Gallo if he'll have me, but I guess we'll see how that goes. No, really, we had a lot of fun the last 2 years, and I'm going to miss Blair at the practices and hanging around and around town. So it sucks that you're leaving, but they all come back. We'll take you back. We'll take you back. We had a really good year this year. It was incredible. If there was a dedication award for the coaches, no, not even close. So we sent the kids on one of the tournaments basically by themselves, and they came back with just a ton of hardware. So I don't know what that says for our coaching or our coaching style, but unbelievable group of players we had this year. We had lots of success. We sent the biggest team that we've sent to provincials in a really long time. And we're going to say that reflects on the coaches. But really, I think it was hard work, sort of. Badminton isn't the sport that is before us. Basketball, I feel a little more intense, maybe, than the practices we run. But everybody's there, has a great attitude, and we have a lot of fun, and we've had lots of success. So it was a great year, guys. Thanks for everything.
So I'm just going to go straight into the individual awards. As Bruce said, we kind of ditched these guys that won their own a couple of times this year. But for all their starting the practices without us, for all their the tournaments where we couldn't go to, we thought that one person really stepped up as a leader in our team. She made sure the team was doing the practice the proper way. No matter how many times I had to bust the rest of the people for not doing their work. For the Leadership Award for Senior Varsity Badminton this year, I'd like to recognize Callie Cummings. Thanks for running our program for us. This next award goes to another grade 12. We've coached this girl for a couple of years in badminton. Last year, I know we threw her in a spot she didn't want to be in. She took it, ran with it, did unbelievable at zones, finishing just outside of the provincials. And again this year, she was a force to be reckoned with. Quietest person at practice, but really brought some intensity to the course. We'd like to recognize Jillian LaRock for the Dark Horse Award. And our last award is going to be for the heart of the team. I just don't know what badminton season would be without this guy. He lives and breathes this sport. The amount of trick shots in his arsenal is through the roof. For the heart of our badminton team this year, we'd like to recognize Dash Vyas. Before we get off stage, again, I was fortunate enough to take, like Bruce said, the largest team we had in a long time to provincials. We managed to get 8 athletes there. We have the certificate of participation for provincials. 2 of our teams ended up in the top 10 with our boys doubles of Murphy Krentz and David King, and 6th place finish with our girls singles of Alyssa Campbell. So we just want to recognize Gavin Alcock. Yeah, you can hand them out. Gavin Alcock, Murphy Krentz, David King, Dash Vyas, Alyssa Campbell, Callie Cummings, Carrie Allard, and Logan Babesco for making it to provincials. That's a big step in an individual sport. And since everybody said bye to me, adios. I've had a blast here in Artie Parker. To all those that I coached here, thank you so much. This has been a great group of students that I've got the opportunity to coach. All my teams, I couldn't have asked for anything better. I wish you all the best in your future. Thank you very much.
They just keep piling up. Get rid of these stickers. Bye, Blair. Okay, lacrosse. Boys, come on down. We have Coach Brad Ritchie and Dave Babalek.
Okay, guys, a couple things. Just a couple of short words here. Actually, they're math questions for you, Corey. It was a trying year for us this year, as we had in Thompson. We got out. We play in the Winnipeg League, and we got out for one outdoor practice before the season was over. So there was a lot of work indoors, of which these kids, some of them, lots of new guys this year. Some of them didn't understand what we were doing, but we were trying to break it down very simply so that once we did get to the field, we would be able to try to put it together. So it was a very interesting year. There's only one game I wanted to win. That was when I was coaching against my son. Luckily for these guys, they won. Brad?
Thanks, Dave. As Dave mentioned, yeah, it's an interesting year. It's interesting being part of this program. We'd like to thank the Artie Parker Phys Ed department, because Dave and I don't work here. We don't have anybody who's coaching with us who's on our staff, so I just drop by Tuesday morning and I pass out the forms and I ask Mr. Burton or Mr. Parody or Tara to get them taken care of for us, and they always do without complaint. So thank you to the Phys Ed department, because you put up with us for that. We need teachers to come on a trip, so we'd like to thank Adam Oliskew and Judy Saunders for being our teacher reps this year, so thanks for coming with us on our trips, as well as parents, because we need drivers. So there's usually 5 or 6 parents who load up their vehicles as full as they can and put up with these guys, and I don't know if they recognize how big of a deal it is, people taking time off work and that, so thank you to the parents who support us as well. Yeah, we do get a unique season and a unique set of circumstances, and you can see that there's no junior team here. There's no senior team. It's grade 9 right through grade 12, and Dave and I recognize that that's not always easy for a ninth grade athlete to come in and be with the older guys. So to the ninth graders, we promise you that it's going to be safe and fun and it's going to be okay. And I hope we deliver on that. And to the older guys in grade 11 and 12, thank you guys for being leaders and making it comfortable for them, not only on the field, but in the dorms, because we're away all the time for all of our games. We had 12 first-time players this season out of our 20. 20 is the biggest roster we've ever had, so that's good news. We had 12 first-time players, and as Dave mentioned, you can imagine 12 guys who've never seen a field lacrosse field, and we're going out there for our very first game. We did great. In our 8 regular season games, they were all one-goal games with the exception of one. Either we won, tied, or lost by a goal. And we made it all the way to our division finals, losing 5-3. And had we not lost our leading scorer to a collarbone injury in the second quarter, I think we would have beat Vincent Massey. So a very good season. We've got a couple of awards here. The first award goes to the young man who had the best rookie season. And that award goes to Declan Steeps. Do we have someone who had the second best rookie season? Okay, the next award goes to most improved, and this isn't most improved from the start of our season to the end of this year. I think Dave and I are on the same page here. This is the guy who's the most improved in our 4 years of working with him. When he started with us, he was a curly-haired, pudgy kid with glasses, and now he's a tall, pudgy kid with glasses. It's not so much, it's tough, guys, when your goalie doesn't want you to shoot on him in practice. So this year he would actually stand in the net at practice, and that was a big deal. And when you play games with 12 new players and you win by a goal or you lose by a goal, you know the games are really tight. You know, all kidding aside, Corey really manned up this year. So most improved over the course of 4 years, Corey Matron. Congratulations, man. We don't have an award here, but he was recognized at the banquet for the Manitoba High School Field Lacrosse League. And we've, for the last 3 years now, we've put players on the All-Star team. And we don't have an award here. He got it when we were in Winnipeg. So congratulations to David Saunders, be recognized for the second straight year for the Manitoba High School Field Lacrosse League. There's 18 teams in our league and recognized again for the second straight year. So congratulations, David.
I was going to make sure you said that. I was going to save it for the end.
Yeah, we're producing good players here. Leadership, you know, can be characterized in many different ways, and we've got two guys we'd like to recognize. All of our 12th graders did a fantastic job this year, so Dave and I thank them a lot. But the first guy we want to recognize is someone who we really missed having on the team last year. It showed when he came back this year what he means to us. Just super respectful and always on time, always polite, works hard, and a good role model by example. So Gordon Ruther. Thanks, man. And he makes a mean old-fashioned. And lastly, this leadership award goes to another one of our 4-year athletes. And when it's just Dave and I there, and we're dealing with parent meetings and all sorts of stuff, and getting into the gym and getting organized, we leaned on him a lot for getting the practice going, for getting the warm-up happening, taking control of the players and the younger guys. And I think most people can do it, but the way that he did it with just a real friendly manner where everybody listened to him. He never had to get down on anybody. People just like him. He's a really friendly guy, and he led through his great personality, Oscar Lafreniere. Thank you.
Okay, so the final team awards, my favorite team, the best team in my opinion, track and field. We've got a whole crew of them. The crutches that Mr. Fisher spoke about earlier in the evening belong to us. Lance, do you want us to assemble at the front? Yeah, everybody get back down. We're going down. You can go down too. This mic moves. Yeah, let's go down. We've got crutches. He can't come upstairs. These ones, yeah. Yeah, thanks. Okay, hi, moving. This is our team. We can't fit on the stage. Track it was a rough year. We've come off some great success 2 years in a row and then got hit hard with an awful blizzard that prevented us from getting onto the track until about 3 days before we had to go to zones. We did a lot of hallway running and makeshift throwing and jumping on mats, and we did our best. We still came through with a zone banner, which was awesome. And provincials, I refer to this season as the Band-Aid season. Going on lacrosse, I liked it a whole lot better last year when Gordy Ruther didn't play lacrosse and sprained his shoulder the week before provincials and not tell me. Yeah. Band-Aid, crutches. We're broken. We're broken this year. So we had a little bit of a rough go in the end, but it was still a great weekend. We've got a great team here, and I think everybody had a blast. I personally would like to thank all of my coaches. We're a big, as you see, we have a lot of people. We can't do this without a lot of other people. We've got Denova Soros, Catherine Mills, bye Catherine, Jeff Parody, Mike Thorburn, Alex Burton, bye Burton. Couldn't do this without them. They help us get through this all. So who wants to go first?
Okay, we have a whole host of awards that we got to get through since we have such a big team. This first award goes to an athlete. First of all, I should say track and field is one of those weird sports where you come in expecting to do one thing and end up doing another most of the time, especially for zones where we're looking to fill your whole event categories. You may come in as a thrower and expect just to throw and end up doing a 200-meter run, or you might come in as a runner and all of a sudden you're learning how to throw a discus. So it's tough for a lot of these athletes to adjust very quickly, but a lot of them do a really good job of it. And this one athlete in particular, I know running was never her forte and she didn't want to do it. But as soon as she tried it a couple times, she got into it, she wouldn't quit. And even when she was dead tired laying on the grass, it was, I got this, don't worry about it. So the I Got This award goes to Ashley Duke. Okay, our next award goes to a grade 9 athlete who came into our program with big shoes to fill. I'll just get it out of the way now. This is another O'Callahan. Her big sister, Zoe, unfortunately couldn't participate this year with us due to an injury. Band-Aid. So we did refer to her as Little Zoe the entire year. But now that she's got through her first year of track and Zoe is graduating, moving on, we think that now is the right time to honor her with her own name and give her the Athena Award. So, step forward, Athena. All right, the final award that I'm going to give goes to the ultimate track and field athlete. Like soccer, track and field is one of those things where you have to really be into it in order to be good at it. It takes a lot of individual practice, a lot of individual time and commitment in order to be successful, and this athlete was successful to an incredible high caliber. The number of medals he's won at provincials, I'm sure will be an R.D. Parker record for a long time. This year, Injuries got the better of him at Provs, but he still stood on the podium with a bronze medal in the 100 meter, as well as a 5th and 6th place finish in the 200 and 400 meter. So for his 4 years of dedication, we'd like to give the Ultimate Track Award to Jack Kennedy.
I run the throwers group. We started early this year. We started training in February whenever there wasn't another practice. As you can tell, our athletes come from many different sports. We were throwing in the gym for a while. One guy proved the gym wasn't quite big enough. We eventually ended up at Wapanuk. I've got 3 awards for 3 throwers. The first one started in volleyball season. I was brought into ref, watching the game as I got out of class. I was talking to Brad Williams about Ashley throwing this year, and I said, I'm chasing CJML. I think he's a ghost. I don't think he exists. I need another junior thrower. Then on cue, this guy went up and hit a ball that almost went through the floor. I said, Brad, who is that? Him. I want him. Found out it was Dee's little brother from past. I was like, okay, this should be an easy transition. We'll get this guy. And some of you have been chased by me to come out and throw, and you won't, so you know I can be persistent. It took a long time for him to say yes. It was no for a while. I said, come out, and if you're not pretty good at this, just quit. He eventually came out. He hit the wall on the far side of the small gym, so then we moved to Wapanuk. Picked up discus and could have easily won the event this year. Learned a little about consistency and did manage on minimal practice to win a bronze medal in the province for shot put. So the It Runs / Throws in the Family Award goes to Sheldon Howard. In the same vein of injuries and Band-Aids and messes, we won 3 throwing medals last year. We lost Adriana Prue. The other 2 were Jonna McDonald. Jonna went into this season justifiably with really high expectations. Misdiagnosed shoulder injury led to a weird taping incident, and things didn't go as planned. Jonna, in her 2nd throw in the discus pre-finals, threw a 30+, which is, we've been chasing that dragon for years, about a foot out of bounds. Next one was easily, probably would have been the bronze medal, about a foot out of bounds. So that's it in track. If you miss those, you're out. I knew how much it crushed her. She just ate it. Total grace, total poise, no frustrations, no curse words. Instantly, about a half hour later after she relaxed, she's already talking about next year and training, and I need to do this better. So just for the What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger award, I know we'll be standing here next year talking about the provincial medals for Jonna McDonald. Yeah. This last one, all of the coaches, we couldn't be more in agreement with this young man. I've had him for 4 years. The most dedicated thrower I've ever worked with. He loves this, just like Mr. Parody was talking. He was watching videos. He'd come up and show me videos of him throwing in his backyard for critique. What impressed me most this year, I took him to Westwood, the elementary school. He started coaching. It went well. I sent Jonna with him because he doesn't usually like to talk, and well, we figured she would help. He took over. Jonna missed a practice. He was in full stride. He actually took that team over. He brought it back here when we finally got outside. He took Sheldon under his wing. He worked a lot with Monius, and he just became like a player coach on the field. His provincial shot put could not have gone more Eric. He blew his finger up in warm-up. A 12-pound shot put ball, your middle finger, and the immobile toe board, bad combination. So bleeding all over the place, runs down to the med tent, gets patched up, comes back, almost cleans the people down the left side who were measuring with his 2nd attempt, almost wipes out the people on the right side with his 3rd attempt, shrugs, smiles, walks away. He knew going in every year he wasn't going to win, and he still put that incredible amount of work in, still did it with a smile. And the amount of leadership he led to the whole team makes it really easy to give the Coaches Award to Eric Olson.
I've got 3 awards here. I'll get through. First one we called the Heart and Hustle Award. It's for a grade 9. When athletes come in grade 9, you never know what to expect. I don't see a lot of Knights of Columbus, so I don't know who's good at what, who's not good, who's in a track, who's just out here for fun. And this individual, from the start of indoor workouts in the gym, was there every day, working hard every day. Basically asked us what we wanted him to do for events, and we ended up turning him into a multi-athlete, which is basically doing 5 events back to back to back, and I believe he got a standing ovation in his 800 at provincials. So the Heart and Hustle Award goes to Curtis Szymanski. Not present. Next one, for the Rookie of the Year, again, going to another grade 9. I don't think the year ended quite as well as he would have liked, but we definitely expect big things out of this young man and fully expect him to fill Jack's shoes in the sprinting category for the next 4 years. Shouldn't be a problem. The Rookie of the Year goes to Lance Bobesco. And thirdly, I'll just move around you, Lance. I've got an award for Most Improved. For this award, we encompass the whole 4 years in which this individual has been a member of our team. Not to say that he wasn't always a good track athlete from the get-go, but he went from a pretty good track athlete to a very good track athlete, winning lots of medals in zones in both sprinting and jumping, and even making the finals for the long jump in provincials this year, which is quite a big deal because that's a premier event for senior boys. Became a fan favorite in that event to the point in which he got the clap, which is where everyone cheers for you to make your final jump. It's a prestigious thing to happen to you if you're at track, to have the whole University of Manitoba Stadium clapping for you before you jump. So for the Most Improved, we like to give it to Braden Dudley.
So that was a good clap. Okay. The next award that we have goes to someone. We could have called this a leadership award. We chose to call it the Backbone Award because we literally used his back for everything and his shoulders, even though they were apparently sprained and he didn't tell us. He's always the first to step up and help out. Anything, oh yeah, I got this, Miss Thompson, I got this. Little did I know it was because he was trying to stay in my good books, so I didn't find out he hurt himself and would yell at him. Well, that's okay. Gordy Ruther, the Backbone Award. The next award goes to somebody who just has a great attitude. Again, she sat down with me and said, like, I'm really into this, I'm really into that, but put me wherever you want. Put me wherever you need me to go. And again, always such great spirits and life of the team. So the Spirit of Track goes to Brianne Bruno. Okay, another one, this also could have been a leadership award. This person stepped up in her grade 12 year, was definitely one to be vocal with the rest of the team. We needed something done. She would take care of it. She's also a little bit of my favorite. I'm really sad. The vice to the president, Callie. We're related, so. I had to replace her. I needed a new cousin, so Jonna's my new cousin next year. I needed someone who'd share their food with me and tape up my shoe when I broke it. And put sunscreen on my shoulders if I burnt. Jonna. Okay, I think I'm done. Okay, so the other thing about track is we are a huge group. And we don't always see everybody last from grade 9 to 12. Come grade 12, we have these people from grade 9 to 11, and they're in it, and they're so passionate, and then life happens. Grade 12 track happens in April, May, and June, where everybody's like going away to university, got to get that summer job, and May long weekend starts, and I got to work. So we often lose a lot of our grade 12s. So this year we wanted to give a special recognition to our grade 12s who have 4 years of service in track and field. Yes, thank you. So we have Braden Dudley, Callie Cummings, Jack Kennedy, Schnib Schnob Jason Sandu, who's not here, Brandon Evely, and Eric Olson. Is Brandon not here? Thanks. Braden, do you want to take Brandon's to him? Thanks. Okay, I think that wraps up track. Again, I won't say anything else because I'll probably stop crying or start crying again, but bye Burton, bye Mills. Oh, I can't lose co-coaches and my cousin on the same year. That's too hard. Okay. Oh, grade 12s, you might as well just come back. Okay, so again, the phys ed staff always likes to recognize all of our grade 12 athletes who have stuck out the test of time. There's always a lot of other things that come into the way of athletics, job, school, things like that. So they'd like to recognize all of the grade 12 athletes who made it all the way.
I just want to say thank you to our grade 12s for leading the way for the rest of you grade 9, 11, and 12 athletes. They're a great bunch of kids. We produce a lot of great kids here at Artie Park, and I just want to say thank you and goodbye. And when you come back, bring presents and come visit us in the phys ed office whenever you would like to. Thanks.
Okay, and while we have the grade 12s up there, we'd now like to call up the coaches, and the grade 12s will present the coaches with their coaches gift for the year. So all of our coaches come up, parade through. This year, the prize is a lovely Artie Parker Trojans chair. I think maybe, I don't know. Well, this way and around, maybe? Bottom? Sure. Oh, look at this. Come on down. Trent, you're going to be the presenter. I don't know.
I would like to expand on what Coral had to say about the coaches. I really do appreciate everything that they do. They give up a lot of their valuable time, and sometimes, you know, it's not always an enjoyable experience, but I would like to thank them, and I appreciate everything that they do for Artie Parker. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think we got, thanks, Gordy. I think we're good, we're good. What? Here, can you shake this? Sorry. Okay. Thanks, grade 12s. Your job's done. The chairs are not for you. Put them back in the corner. Good try, though. Next, I'd like to call up Mr. Burton to present the Spirit of Sport Award.
So I'm going to present the Spirit of Sport Award. For those of you who don't know, it's given to an individual each year for basically showing how much they enjoy all sports, any sport, their sport, sports in general, carrying forward a positive attitude, helping out around the school, helping other athletes, and just embodying what we look for in an athlete, not just for performance, but for the enjoyment they get out of playing sports, which in return gives us as an athletic department in a school so much enjoyment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to announce the winner, and then I'm not going to ask that winner to come up, and I'm just going to tell you a bit about this individual, then I'll ask them to come up to get their award. So this year, for the Spirit of Sport Award, we'd like to honor Eric Olson. So, I won't make Eric come up because I know the last thing he wants to do is stand up here while I boast about him. So I'll let him sit quietly in the corner. I'm going to tell you a bit about him for those that don't know, and then I'll ask him to come up to get his award. So you may have heard Mr. Thorburn speak a bit about Eric. He is a track and field athlete. He came to us about 4 years ago, very quiet individual. Immediately was well liked by the coaches just for his politeness and his respect, and how much he seemed to immediately enjoy coming out to practices and just trying to improve on a sport. I don't think he realized how important he is to our team as a whole. Whenever we go out to the field or do anything, he's always the one working the hardest. He's asking what else he can do. Can I carry anything? Can I help you with anything? When no one's even paying attention, we'll just glance over and I'll kind of look in his direction, and he's sweating and running harder than anyone else and going through his warm-up better than anyone else and just really dedicating himself. And it's all because he just wants to get better and enjoys competing. He became a fixture in the weight room, in the gym, because he wanted to get bigger, better, stronger, better at shot put. He was there every day after school. Sometimes if the supervisor wasn't there, he'd quietly come up to the door like he was annoying us, asking us if he could get into the weight room to work out, if it was going to be open. He even came to the phys ed office at the end of a year and asked if he could borrow a shot put to take home so he could train all summer. I don't know if anyone's ever asked to take home a shot put before, so I think we were glad to let him have that. Again, he just wanted to get better. He wanted to raise his personal performance, which in turn raises the performance and the effort of everyone that's had a chance to be around him. He went for someone that just enjoyed taking part in track and field to really someone that was competing in his events over the past 4 years. Mr. Thorburn mentioned he had an injury at provincials this year. Didn't seem to phase him one bit. Wrapped up his finger, kept going. Deserved every bit of success that he achieved and more. He also became a mentor and an extension of the coaching staff for us. Like Mr. Thorburn said, he was there to help others. I think he didn't even realize what he was doing when he did it. He was just having conversations, talking about a sport that he loved, not realizing that in turn others were listening to what he had to say and learning from that. It really has been an honor for all of us that have been involved with track and field, all the athletic department, everyone that's got a chance to get to know Eric over the past 4 years, just for what an amazing individual he is, and he's the type of athlete that makes us enjoy what we do. We know you're going on to bigger and better things next year, and we wish you all the best. So if it's not too painful, would you come up and accept your Spirit of Sport Award, Eric Olson?
Okay, next up we have the Ultimate Award. Now the Ultimate Award is something that's not given out every year. It has been given out several years in a row lately, but we've had a really great run of things here. The Ultimate Award is for an athlete or a team that achieves provincial excellence. So gets us one of these lovely banners or wins a gold medal at provincials in an individual event. And as you have heard, our junior girls basketball team had one heck of a season. So I'd like to call them back up onto the stage to receive their Ultimate Award. Congratulations, ladies. Great season. Big group hug. What? Thanks. You might as well stay up here. Okay, I like to refer to these as our Academy Awards, but there was already an Academy Award given out this season, so that blows things up a little bit. Junior girl nominees. To present that award, we have Christine Sim.
All right, like Coral said, we had 3 nominees this year. Honestly, junior girls is quite a competitive group, so just to be nominated, you girls should be very privileged and honored. We picked this award not just based on skill, we also talked about if they gave back to the school, If they traveled all the time, they were passing all their courses and whatnot. This winner tonight absolutely deserves it. JV Girls Athlete of the Year, Ashley Williams.
Okay, to present the Junior Boys Award, Mr. Fortune.
Pull this up a little bit. There we go. Sorry, Sam. For the Junior Varsity Athlete of the Year, we had 4 nominees this year, a phenomenal grade 10 class, group of leaders on them. We had Murphy Flo Krentz, Sheldon the Tower Howard, Kyle the Heart Tomchuk, and Gavin the Beast Alcock. All 4 were involved in volleyball. Murphy and Gavin played senior varsity badminton. Sheldon, as you heard, won a bronze medal in track and field shot put and was our MVP at provincials of volleyball this year. And Gavin Alcock was a leader of both the volleyball and basketball teams and also made senior varsity provincials in singles and badminton. So we had a very phenomenal class this year. And the Junior Varsity Boys Athlete of the Year goes to Sheldon Howard.
Okay. To present the Senior Girls Athlete of the Year, Miss Warren.
I have the privilege to work with these girls, see these girls a lot throughout the season, whether it's volleyball, basketball, soccer, track and field. So our nominees this year were John McDonald, Jamie Varai, Alyssa Campbell, and Hannah Murdy. And this year our award goes to Alyssa Campbell.
Okay, and our final award of the night is for the Senior Boys Athlete of the Year, and Mr. Parody will come present that.
Just before I give this award out, just a quick announcement for the members of the Century Club for track and field. Your awards can be picked up in the Phys Ed office after the Trojan Awards night's finished up. Okay. For our senior varsity male athlete of the year, I think people underestimate, or maybe not quite realize what this category means. Same with our senior varsity girls. A lot of people come out and play junior varsity sports at Artie Parker. Athletics at middle school, elementary level is just something everyone does. So you get to the high school and you're like, well, I'm going to do it here too. And you realize that it's a lot more work, it's a lot more time, commitment, losing's harder, winning is more fun, but it doesn't happen all the time. So a lot of athletes fizzle out after junior varsity. So for these guys to make it to senior varsity and not just make it here, but excel at senior varsity, it's really quite a feat. So the nominees for this year are Jack Kennedy, David King, Deshaun Sandu, David Saunders, and Dale Cook. And the winner of the 2016-2017 Senior Varsity Boys Athlete of the Year is Dale Cook.
Okay, that concludes our awards for the evening. Some people, if they wanted to take pictures with their team, stick around. You can meet up with your coaches, take some pictures. It's been a great year. We'll see y'all next year unless they fire me because I cried. Bye, Burton. Bye, Fortune.